as everyone's calling for Chris Shula's scalp, I can just hear his grandpa saying, so what? You wanted to get involved in the family business? Well, you're in the family business. This is RamView. Live from the RamCave, I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView, the October the 4th, 2024 edition, brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident, need help, got questions? Call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com, KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, Kistler Law. They've been fighting for you since 92. And by Temple City Auto Repair. Having some auto issues, get yourself some John and Henry at TempleCityAutoRepair.com. And of course, by Benched, the app. Never get a goose egg, never get a zero on your fantasy team because you failed to update it. Benched, the app does it for you. Download Benched, the app today. All right, on about 20 minutes late today, Matters of State took precedence over the Matters of State. Yes, Mr. Burns, I see the merchants in line there. I promise, guys, I'll get to the questions and everything, but I just can't get around it. I am like losing my skull. You know, it's like the KBM. It's like I hate the idea that sometimes you can come across as the smartest guy in the room. I've been in the room with smartest people in the room syndrome, and I'm not trying to act like smartest person in the room. But when you look and see what's going on with the Rams, their defense has been passable enough to get them wins in at least 3 of their first 4 games. It has been. It just has been. You had the broken play that or the busted coverage, of Trey White that gave Jameson the touchdown in the opener where Detroit would have only scored 20 points. Forget about the Cardinals. They stepped up against Frisco when they had to. And then last week against the Bears, I kept talking about how the defense only gave up 17 points. But when you really think about it, you had the strip sack and you had the busted run by DeAndre Swift. That defense gave up 10 points. The defense isn't great. The defense needs to know how to finish. But goodness gracious sakes alive, I'm so sick of the KBM. Oh, the Rams aren't getting it done. They got chewed up and beaten up by DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift was averaging 3 yards a carry. 3 yards a carry when he busted off that 36-yard run. KO time. How you doing, man, up in Canada? Hope the weather's cooler there. It heated up here in LA. How are you feeling about the Rams-Packers? Well, I'm not feeling good, and it's not because of our defense. It's because of our offense right now. So let's get right into this here Rams stuff. We talked about getting some help along the offense or the defensive front for the Rams. Everyone was I'm not going to say everyone was excited, but they did activate. It wasn't a big splash. It was just they did something about the defensive front. They activated Larrell Murchison, and then he busts his foot in the first practice. So I don't know if we're going to see that guy this year. They did bring back Jonah Williams. They re-signed him off the Vikings practice squad. I think that was a good move and everything. Hey, thanks a lot, Payo Time. I'll get to the questions here in a minute, man. I hope you can hang with us until then. But they did sign Jonah Williams, which more depth is good. I don't know if they fully believe in Tyler Davis yet. Bobby Brown's fighting for his NFL career. I think Kobe Turner could use some help. And then you got Braden Fisk, right? And so they were trying to get some help along that defensive front. I'm curious to see what they're going to do going forward. They saw what we saw. As of Thursday or today, the Packers, Jair Alexander, Kenny Clark, Elton Jenkins, Carrington Valentine, Jordan Morgan, and Jonathan Ford were all listed as limited. Interesting. Keep your eye on Kenny Clark, huge one there. Jair Alexander and Valentine had been starting for them. Devontae White, their defensive tackle's been ruled out. Christian Watson is likely not going to play. Edgerrin Cooper is likely not going to play. Romeo Doubs has got some personal thing going on, so we don't know what's happening with them right there. So They got Jordan Love practicing in full, but there's a lot of issues there in Green Bay. I like that Darius Williams has been activated. He's going to start, or he's going to play. We didn't hear he was going to start. We're going to have to see how that plays out and shakes out because the thing is here is neither Trey White or Kobe Durant have given you reason to think they should remain in the lineup, right? And so, yeah, you want to see Darius Williams play. Who are they going to pull? You know, if I can get somebody to cover the slot, then I would keep Quentin Lake in the lineup as often as I could and move him back there with Cam Curl and put Cam Kitchens on the bench. You need Quentin Lake on the field the whole time. He needs more snaps, and get Cam Kitchens off the field. And then you're still dealing with Trey White and Kobe Durant. But I think the more snaps that Quentin Lake is out there, it's important. 4 games, 16 quarters, plus an overtime, and this unit only has 1 interception. Just 1. And that guy, John Johnson, is on the IR. So when we're talking about the Rams defense struggling, I'm looking at the secondary that's really killing this team. Again, the front is not perfect, but it's enough to get some wins. Looking at the offensive line, Alaric Jackson has a little bit of a knee issue, but we're good to go with Logan Bruss, Bo Limmer, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein for the 3rd straight week. And that means something. You know, we're not running Matt Skura, Oday Abouche, and Ty Neski out there, right? We're running out there for 3 straight weeks now. Alaric Jackson, Logan Bruss, Bo Limmer, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein. Now, that's hardly, you know, Dan Deerdorf, Roger Finney, Conrad Dobler, Bob Young, and Tom Banks, right? That's hardly the 76 Cardinals. But this is an offensive line that is okay. It can plow the road. It can do enough to get you a win. And so we're happy about that. Let's go around the NFL and other places before I break down this Ram game real quick. Last night's game was fantastic. It's kind of late to talk about it. I should have gone on live this morning to talk about it. But Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield, man, that was impressive. That was just so much fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. And it was a great win for the Falcons. Former Ram Kadarius Hodge making the play. You know, all of it was good. You could talk about everything all night. But as I was sitting there and kind of taking some notes, the thing, you know, the win, the play, all that stuff was great. The touchdown with Hodge was great. The fact that final seconds, Cousins goes not to the sideline, but goes down the middle to Drake London. London runs more than you think he should, gets down. He's actually downed with 8 seconds left. The entire offense runs up, and they get that snap off, and they get it spiked with 1 second left. And all I thought about when I saw that is, one, Cousins is a great quarterback, and he's got a great coach. That's a credit to Raheem Morris and former Rams assistant coach, who's now the OC with the Falcons, Zach Robinson, which is really interesting because former Rams OC Liam Cohen is the OC for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So really a lot of stuff there, and Kadarius Hodge scores the winning touchdown, right? A lot of stuff there. And Baker Mayfield, you know, if I'm Tampa Bay, I tell Baker, every time you don't slide, we're going to fine you. Just fine him, because that dude needs to stay healthy. Other places around the NFL, Jalen Phillips to the IR for the Dolphins. Fish should be getting OBJ back, but there's really no one to throw him the ball. Rashee Rice officially on the IR for the Chiefs, but they've designated Clyde Edwards-Helaire to return. Former number 1 draft pick. I don't know if people remember that. And I don't think Malik Neighbors is playing with the Giants this week up in Seattle. We've expected that. And then you got the Dallas situation where DeMarcus Lawrence is out, and you got to believe, I don't know if he's been officially ruled out, but Micah Parsons is banged up. Coaches to keep an eye on. I'd keep an eye on Robert Saleh. To me, having Aaron Rodgers say, hey, there's no distance between them. Hey, we're good friends. To me, that's like a team giving a manager a vote of confidence before they fire him. Keep an eye. If the Jets are blown out across the pond, Robert Saleh, maybe he has to find his own way back, or Nathaniel Hackett has to find his own way back. Nick Sirianni escapes with a bye. We'll see if the Eagles could hold on and win that bye. And then Doug Peterson. He's got Indy coming to Jacksonville. He's 0-4 now. They have got to get that win, or I think he is toast. All right, guys. I'm Joe Terosian as a sports writer for 21 years. Now I do RamView, thanks to our sponsors at Kistler Law. And we want to thank you for supporting us there. And also, we're being sponsored now by Bench the app. And if you're tired of your fantasy team losing games because you forgot to check your lineup with Bench the app, that's a thing of the past. Benched is the only app that ensures you never leave a non-starting player in your lineup. Don't miss out on crucial points, and don't be the one who forgot to bench a player on game day. Win your league, keep your pride, and let Bench the app handle the rest. Also, deliver some spite. I mean, that's the only reason we play fantasy ball. I guess there's money involved in some leagues, but I like spite. I like talking trash, and Benched helps with that. Dominate your fantasy season. Download Bench the app today. All right, we do have an audience here. Thank you guys for waiting for me and clicking on. Tim Burns, Payo time. Got some questions. Murchison down after one day. We feel cursed. Hey, if it's the offensive line, I feel cursed. If it's the defensive line, I feel like next man up. Next man up. And I'm kind of happy Jonah Williams is back. I don't know if they've activated him yet, but I hope he gets some reps on Sunday. Payo time. Hey, Joe, how do you feel about the Rams-Packers? I see an avenue for the Rams win. Whether they take that avenue or an alley, I don't know, or a dead-end street. I'm not really happy about what they're doing right now in terms of just what they're thinking. Payo time up in Canada. It's nice and chilly. Fall sweater weather, as they say. Yeah, I'm in a Hawaiian shirt, man. I'm in a Hawaiian shirt. That's how hot it's gotten up here. Payo time. I like the Williams re-sign for sure. Yeah, I think we all do, right? We know they needed some help along that front, and he's a veteran, and that helps. Is it the life-changing thing? No. Is it a big deal for a Dexter Lawrence? No. But it's a good sign, and at least it kind of matches up what we've been talking about here, where the Rams need to make a move. Okay, Payo time. With this defense playing the way they have, I have accepted that cheering for turnovers is the best case scenario. Holding coverage and stopping the run are an issue. Best to hope for a pick or a fumble. Yeah, but you know what? This secondary is just not opportunistic. It's not opportunistic at all. And a couple years in a row, like what, Witherspoon have 3 picks last year, and they seem so few and far in between. But you do have Witherspoon back. You have Darius Williams back, and maybe that just provides enough depth that they can pull a Trey White, pull a Kobe Durant, point out some things on film, and deal with it. Again, if Verse and Fisk can finish and not have the secondary screw it up by having a holding penalty, this defense can do something. I don't want to see Cam Kitchens on the field right now, but, I think we are. And so, again, I don't think this defense is as bad as everyone wants it to be, right? But I think it's low-hanging fruit. Tim Burns, analyze the remaining games. I say we can go 9-4 the rest of the way, even with us losing this week. I think the door is open. I do. I'll talk about it right now. Yeah. I don't think 1-4 completely ends your season because you got 2 weeks until your next game, and then your first game's back is against the Raiders, and you have troops returning. I think for the next month you're going to see troops returning 1 week at a time. Is it Avila and Puka? I sure hope so. And Cooper, yeah, Cup, yeah, I sure hope so. And so I have a hard time giving up. I do, and I've heard KBM say, hey, we didn't give up last year. Yeah, you did. The KBM, the Kiss Butt media, always gives up. I heard so-called Rams podcasts. They were trashing the Rams, saying, it's not that kind of season. And it's like, are you looking at it? Are you looking at who they're playing? I think the schedule's tougher this year. I think the defense is younger this year. I think Seattle is better this year. I don't think the Cardinals are great. I think the Rams can beat the Cardinals, but they're dangerous, right? You still got to go to Frisco. Buffalo, they've had some injuries. Von Miller, did Von Miller put on code of conduct suspension? So they've got some stuff there in Buffalo a little bit. They are mortal, but they get the Rams, get them at home. They get the Packers on Sunday at home, and they get the Vikings here. That one's tougher than we thought. So I think it's going to be tough. If the Rams can get to 9 wins, it'll be a miracle, and that's why I'm rooting for the Cardinals this week. We want to see Frisco fall to 2-3. Let the Cardinals go to 2-3. Let us get a win and go to 2-3. right? And then create that log jam. Seahawks are going to beat the Giants or the Giants. So they're going to be 4-1. But again, that's the Seahawks. They always have injuries. Tyler Lockett, everybody, you know? And I believe Geno Smith is going to come crashing down to earth. So I'm not giving up hope. Tim Burns, Aaron Rodgers asking for Devontae Adams is scary for that division. It's the Jets. They're always going to find a way to screw it up. And honestly, I don't know what to say because I don't follow the Jets as tightly as we do the Rams, obviously. But a 32-year-old wide receiver that's going to cost you resources, that next year is going to cost you 44 rocks because you're not bringing him in to cut him to make room on the salary cap, right? That he won't be dead cap money. You're paying him 44 rocks in 2025 and 2026. I don't think that sounds like much of a bargain. Remember, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers never got to a Super Bowl. They kept losing in the conference finals. Just saying. But if that's what they want to do, maybe Devontae Adams is on the left coast by the time the Rams play Vegas. I'm good with that. Let's see here. Tim Burns, I saw a fan page, people trolling Ram fans asking if we miss Raheem Morris. I was like, no, I missed the players that made him look adequate. I had a problem with Raheem Morris the first half of 2021. He tightened up in the back half. The defense was great. In 2022, the way he had those guys play off the ball, I wasn't a Raheem Morris fan at all. And then last year, if you notice, those D-backs played a little more press, and they were very good. So, and you're looking at what he's doing in Atlanta. I'm happy for him because they say he's a quality individual, and just whatever he's doing. And Zach Robinson, he obviously picked the right person to get up there and make that spike that ball with 1 second left. That was perfect football. It was perfect football. 8 seconds up the field. They get up there and they get that snap off. I think Chris Shula's fine. Going back to defending Chris Shula. He's been in the room with Wade Phillips, Brandon Staley, and Raheem Morris. He's not there just because he's Sean McVay's friend. He's not there because he's Sean McVay's friend, okay? KBM Media, heard it again. Well, it's going to be hard for McVay to confront his friend. Really? I don't think so, right? I think McVay's built a little different than, say, Lincoln Riley was with Alex Grinch, right? I don't necessarily miss Raheem Morris. Michael Negretti, Pastor Joe, how do you think the Mets will do? I did have a Mets shirt on this morning when I did my church broadcast. Let's see. I think everything is gravy right now for the Mets. Everything is gravy. It's just gravy. They can get swept by the Phillies, and this is still going to be an amazing year, right? And they made some teams cry, right? They made the Braves cry a little bit. They made Milwaukee cry a whole lot. And, that's what it's all about, delivering the spite. But, man, it's starting to feel real special, though. Tim Burns, Sacramento State is putting up a state-of-the-art stadium, looking to go Pac-12. Good for Sacramento State. Good for them. I got a Sacramento State sweatshirt from back in the day. I don't think it fits anymore. Willie Bowen, LA Rams need a victory against the Green Bay Packers, horns up. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I want to see it. I think they can do it so we can see it, but I don't know if we're going to see it. I just don't. And I hope I'm wrong. Broski, I don't know if I've answered with you before, Broski, but thank you for clicking on and putting up a question. What's up, guys? The Dodgers playing today? Don't they start tomorrow? I don't know. I thought they played tomorrow. Tim Burns, just a reminder, Georgia Frontieri is a bad captain of the boat. Okay. Broski, wait, you're a Mets fan? About to unsubscribe right now. Oh, beautiful. I just lost somebody. Sorry about that, guys. Guys, throw out some more questions. We'll get back there in a second. And everything. Want to remind you, check us out in 2 places. Amazon for my latest book, Game Day in the RamCave, which is a novel. It's a fictional NFC title game between the Rams and Packers. It's doing pretty well sales-wise. Please check it out. Help support us. We don't hide behind a paywall or Patreon. Plus, my other books are there. I have 2 high school football novels and then this book, plus several other stuff that will reveal to you that my day job is I pastor a small church in Burbank called Burbank Faith Nazarene. And I have we have a channel right here on YouTube called Burbank Faith Virtual, website Burbank Faith Virtual, Facebook Burbank Faith Virtual, and all across social media. You can subscribe to that or ask me questions, and I'm happy to follow up with you in that realm. All right, college football real quick. Alabama's playing Vanderbilt, snooze. Georgia's playing Auburn, blowout. Miami's playing California in Strawberry Canyon, so that could be interesting. Missouri, Texas A&M is the game I want to see. I think Texas A&M's ranked 25th. Michigan at Washington, that could be interesting. USC at Minnesota. Penn State at UCLA, that could be ugly, and we'll see how that plays out. All right, before we break down this Ram game, I wanted to talk about, I mentioned Jake Funk last week or Wednesday. I talked about breaking down Jake Funk's career, all the stops he's made. And this became something that I noticed when, years ago, when we started covering the bowl games, when I was at the Mid, Poinsettia Bowl, Holiday Bowl. I think we did one of the Las Vegas Bowls, and then Hunger PC Bowl up in Frisco and everything. And you get the media guides from each of the schools, and you look at the thorough bio on all these coaches, and you look at these coaches that have literally had like 20 stops before they got the DC job at Utah or something. And it's just blows you away, all the trips they've taken around the horn. Kadariel Hodge, Rams in 2018, Cleveland, Detroit, Atlanta, and he finally has his moment, right? Has his moment on Monday night. But Jake Funk was interesting to me because, the Rams drafted him 7th round, 233 overall in 2021 out of Maryland. Fullback, did some special teams, picked up a ring with the Rams. So he was drafted in 2021. October 12th of 2022, Rams released him. October 15th, 2022, the Saints signed him. November 8th, 2022, Saints released him. November 10th, 2022, Colts signed him. August 30th, 2023, Colts released him. Re-signed to the practice squad on the same day. A month later, released him. Dolphins signed him a day after that, and then the Dolphins released him a month later. Ravens signed him to the practice squad 12/19/2023. They released him 1/10/24. Lions signed him to the practice squad 1/23/24. Lions released him 8/28/24. I just marvel at the 7th round picks or the UDFAs like Kadariel Hodges and the assistant coaches, and you see where they go and all the work they put in. Interesting. If you were watching the 3rd season of Last Chance U, it's when they were in Kansas, and it was Jason Brown was the head coach, really bombastic. His defensive coordinator was a guy named Jason Martin. Well, we covered Jason Martin when he was in high school, played at Monrovia, transferred to Muir, and then he played college football, and he came back, became the head coach at Duarte High School for a couple years, and you see him pursuing his dream, and 5, 6, 7 years later, lost track of him, and then you see him living in this little cinder block room with his wife and kids as he coaches as a defensive coordinator for that team in Last Chance U, and you just see the journey these guys go through. Mike Leach's journey. You just read these things and their commitment to football. It's just amazing to watch the perseverance. So you can appreciate a guy like Kadariel Hodge and that moment he had on Monday or Thursday. I'm sorry, it was Thursday that he had that moment. Quick reminder is the salary cap, and not the salary cap, and the trade deadline approaches. Rams draft capital. They have 7 picks right now going into next year. Number 1, 2 number 3s, a number 4, and then 3 number 6s to parlay with. We don't expect too many other comp picks. One of those 3s is a comp pick for Raheem Morris going to Atlanta. They have a full complement of picks in 2026. Just stuff to think about if they want to make a move. If they run off, 3 more wins before the trade deadline, and say the Rams are 4-3 at the trade deadline, somewhere in there, yeah, why not make a move? Because the window's open. Do it now. All right. No real new injuries regarding the Rams. Demarcus Robinson was cleared. Darius Williams, Cooper Kupp is out, of course. So everything else looks pretty good with the Rams. There was that thing that listed that Alaric Jackson was limited in practice yesterday because of a knee. We're going to find out. I think he's fine. I think they would say there was an issue if he wasn't playing. This leaves Puka Nacua, Steve Avila, Joe Noteboom. Remember Joe Noteboom on the IR? John Johnson, fractured scapula. Jonah Jackson, remember him? All these guys, we're getting closer and closer as we reach the bye week. we're getting closer and closer to seeing these guys come back. Darian Kendrick, Trey Tomlinson, Connor McDermott, those guys are gone for the year. I don't think you're going to see them. And then you're not going to see definitely Kendrick and Tomlinson. And Laurel Murchison might be in that window if the Rams wanted to return him at some point this season. We'll see. And then Tyler Higbee. Haven't heard any news on Tyler Higbee, which you haven't heard any news on him, but it might mean he might come back. He's supposed to come back later this year, and he might be an asset because of his familiarity with Matthew Stafford. Looking at this Ram game, everything in me, as Pale Time was asking what my thoughts were, everything in me wanted to just pick the Rams this week. I really do, right? Packers have had their struggles against the run. Devontae Wyatt is out. He's a run stopper for them. Rashawn Gary, they're one of their better edge guys. He's gotten off to a slow start. He's got 1 sack. That was in week 1. He's only got 5 hurries on the season. Preston Smith, he's their other edge. He's usually a beast. He's only got 2 sacks this season, and they both came against Tennessee. So he's mortal. Kenny Clark, guy from UCLA, who I thought was aging going into last year, had a really good year last year, him and Rashawn Gary both. He hasn't played well, and he's banged up and off to a slow start this week. Jair Alexander, of course he's a great corner, but he was limited this week in practice. Carrington Valentine, we don't know about if he's going to play. They had to move him into the lineup. He played well, but we don't know. So the Rams have opportunity here. Ezra Cooper's been banged up, one of their draft picks. They have a lot of opportunity here. Xavier McKinney's playing good safety. Bullard's okay too. But the Rams could find some traction there. So could the Rams win? Yes. Will they? I don't know if I think so. Avenues to get the Rams a win? The defense can't give up any big plays. Because every time they give up a big play, everyone overlooks everything else they've done, right? The big play killed them in Detroit, killed them in Chicago. They were not beaten up in Chicago. A big play by DeAndre Swift and a strip sack. Take away those 2 plays, and the Bears only scored 10 points, right? But the KBM is smelling blood, and they want Chris Shula's blood because they think it's going to accomplish something, because they think they're going to get a scalp there and, we got Sean McVay's friend. Chris Shula's got the job because he's Chris Shula, not because he's Sean McVay's friend. The secondary has to avoid those 3rd down penalties that keep the team from getting off the field. Verst, Fisk, and Young have to, again, finish this week. Jordan Love is elusive. Is he as elusive as Caleb? He shouldn't be. He's not as elusive as Kyler Murray, and he's still got that no matter what he says, he's still got a tender leg. So the Rams have opportunity here. The defense, what it would be nice? A pick would be nice. Just one more pick, right? Just get a pick. Make us all happy. Offensively, I've talked about the pack is a bit thin up front. Why the Rams got away from 12 personnel, I don't know. Hunter Long needs more than a dozen snaps to establish that run game, establish it, get the Packers off balance, and then you can get creative. When I'm not saying it has to go for big yardage. I don't care if it goes for 1 yard. When you flash Tutu Atwell in motion like you're going to run that jet sweep, give him the ball once. Let the defense buy that. After a while, they're not buying it. It was like Super Bowl 53. When the Rams stopped running it, you still saw Jared Goff doing play action, and they were going series after series, not running the ball. If you're not going to give the ball at least once to Tutu Atwell, do something else with the motion game, because you got to have the defense buy it. I know Sean McVay's won a Super Bowl, and I'm hidden in the RamCave, right? Again, the offensive line is starting their 3rd consecutive game together. I think that's real optimistic. Names like Joe Noteboom could be coming back. Avila, Jackson, keep an eye on those things. We get closer and closer to that. Week 1 was week 1. This is the Rams' 4th game. So they're going to get back into that zone. Are they going to be back week 6? No, I'm not saying that, but we're getting closer and closer to that moment. Also, this was a suggestion on the show on Wednesday. Wasn't Colby Parkinson brought in to help in the red zone? Yeah, he was, besides his blocking, but his size was supposed to help us in the red zone. Let's see the Rams use him that way, preferably not on a fade to the corner. See, all these things can come together and go the Rams' way, but until I see the offense change, I just don't see it happening. So right now, I know, don't hate me. I lost 1 listener because I'm a Mets fan. I'm going to lose a bunch of other listeners right now because Right now, I'm leaning Packers 27, Rams 13, even though Romeo Dobbs is likely to be out. Christian Watson is out. Jaden Reed's still a good receiver. Yeah, I'm kind of just interested to see how this plays out. Josh Jacobs is good. Yeah, watch Josh Jacobs just pound the Rams, right? The Green Bay offensive line is better than the Bears offensive line, so they should find more traction. But just remember again, DeAndre Swift had 15 carries for 57 yards. 15 carries for 57 yards before he broke off that one carry for 36 yards and a touchdown. All right. Let's look at some questions here. Let's see what we got. All right.
Stone groove, my man.
We are in a stone groove move here. All right. Okay. Broski, sorry I lost you. Thanks for coming by. Tim Burns. People get Chotee's book, Tangent Dreams, especially played high school football. Really cool book. Thank you so much, Mr. Burns. This is Tangent Dreams right here. Got some great reviews. Mr. Burns, I'm expecting some kind of review on game day in the RamCave. Thank you. Willie Bowen, LA Rams can't rely on field goals for victories. Preach. They need to focus on getting into the red zone for the touchdowns. 2 pretty decent drives to start the game at Soldier Field, settled for field goals. You just had to know, if you watch football, you just feel the doom of building inside of all of us. Amen. I believe it. Tim Burns, I saw Barry run in the Holiday Bowl. Wow. What do you think about the number of bowl games? It has made reaching a bowl game meaningless but profitable. And you know what? I don't even know if those bowl games are profitable. You know, we did the Holiday Bowl and the Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego at the Murph for about 10 consecutive years. And that Poinsettia Bowl wasn't even close to filling the Murph. You know, you're bringing out Southern Illinois to play Navy. I mean, it's good for those kids. It's good for those guys. But yeah, it's like they're not making money. And so people, you know, some teams, I don't know why. And some of these games do have to go away, and many of them have. But the Holiday Bowl was always fun to cover. And because you did see some decent schools from the Big Ten and the Pac-12. But yeah, I don't think it carries the same weight unless you're a smaller school. Maybe for Navy, it was a big deal. Broski, we need a quarterback to sit behind Stafford. Are you down with Jimmy G? You know, are you down with Jimmy G? I'm curious to know, Broski, because I don't want to see Jimmy G play, but I feel somewhat comfortable with Jimmy G. My thing is, though, if this game gets out of hand, which I was really upset in the Cardinal game, really upset. They got a 40 burger on you, and McVay's still running Stafford out there. That really upset me. If somehow this game gets out of hand, somehow, 9 minutes to play, it's 34-10, 27-10, 8 minutes to play, get Stafford out of the game. Get him out of the game. Tim Burns, I saw Shaq Thompson in high school game versus Folsom High School, and he had like a 260-yard rushing game. Funny, he was a man-child on defense and now graces the NFL linebacker. You know, one of the things we used to have to tell parents and other people, because we saw so many games covering high school football, and they'd say, how do you know kid's Division I? I said, because he tilts the field. And what I mean by tilts the field is he doesn't look like anybody else. He scores about 3 touchdowns a game. We saw Rashad Penny play at Norwalk, and he's playing safety. He's throwing the ball, catching the ball, of course, running the ball. And no one had an answer for him. There was a guy that played at USC named Desmond Reed. He was another one of those guys. It was just in high school. Had that bad knee injury at South Bend his junior year, I think. But he was just someone, this guy's Division I. You just know. There's no question to it. It's like when they say you see a Hall of Famer, you don't have to ask. It gets a little tricky when you start talking Division II and Division I. But when you see it, we were fortunate enough to cover APU. There is a distinction there. And then for most of these players that we cover, they're maybe, if they have a chance to play on Saturday, it's going to be Division III, NAIA, SIAC, that kind of stuff. But note, if you know somebody that's playing high school football and they got a small school, a Division III school like Minot State or Grandview out in Nebraska, and they're offering them to come out, and they don't give scholarships, athletic scholarships, but they can get you financial help. We've had students from here, Minot State, put $100,000 on the academic scholarships and grants on the table for some of our guys that we knew out here. They weren't going to be great players, but they could play Division III. And for $100,000 at that time, they could probably have their entire undergraduate and all that stuff their 4 years of college taken care of, and then they can come home and just have to pay for masters, their masters if they wanted to pursue a master's. And they turn down, they literally leave on the table $100,000 because someone talked them into going to a JC, because if you go to a JC and you play there, you might get picked up by the Pac-12. Sorry, Hans, wrong guess. It doesn't work that way. Richard Ramos, love my Canadian Ram fan every Sunday morning, counting on it. All right, Richard Ramos is in the house. USA Expat, hopefully we get to play in front of our own fans. Yeah, we've talked about that. I think it's going to be a sea of green. The one thing I do like about that, though, is the Rams have won a Super Bowl. They've been to the Super Bowl twice since coming home. But it doesn't make the road games, outside of weather, it doesn't make the road games as like threatening to the Rams. Like, oh man, you got to go to that madhouse. Are you kidding me? We're playing the Steelers and it's the terrible towel country there. We play the 49ers. It's the Red Sea, right? So I think it helps the Rams going on the road, because the Rams never have a home field advantage anywhere, right? So it does prep us a little bit. Tim Burns, I'm going to do a completion watch for Goff to see how many he adds to his 18 for 18 day. He was pretty amazing. Probably should have got a game ball Monday night. Tim Burns, Rams 24, Pack 16. State your case. USA Expat on any given Sunday. It's true. Tim Burns, I am completely comfortable with Jimmy as a backup, more than capable. All right. Tim Burns, who is the best high school player you ever saw? You're going to slam me because this guy didn't get great opportunities in college. But probably the two best off the top of my head right now, we got to see a lot. Desmond Reed, who played at Temple City and USC, and Rashad Penny, who played at his brother Elijah Penny, also played in the NFL. San Diego State guys. And no, I don't think Elijah went there. I think he went to Idaho. But Rashad Penny, I mean, you just knew you're watching them. It's like I saw Sean Cody play at Los Altos, go to USC, and then he ended up with the Lions for a number of years. We saw some great guys. But they're great in high school, and then that one injury happens or something takes place and everything. So let's see here. Okay, we're good. All right, we got our questions in. Got our questions answered. Let's look at week 5 real quick. I went 7-9 last week. Started off this week 0-1. I took the Buccaneers, and if Bucky Irvin doesn't fumble the ball, then I'm off to a good start this week, and the Buccaneers are 4-1. But Bucky Irvin coughed up the ball, and then we could talk about the missed face mask or anything. I'll let it ride. But Atlanta came back. They won the Rich McKay Bowl. Good for them. Atlanta's weird, but you got to like Kirk Cousins. Sunday, early morning game, Vikings, Jets across the pond, the Ed Marinero Bowl. I don't know what world where the Jets pull this off. I feel very comfortable taking the Vikings in this game. If the Vikings are going to crash and burn, I want it to be the week before they play the Rams. I don't think they're going to crash and burn in London. Panthers, Bears. I got to go with the Bears at home, the Machine Muhammad Bowl. Andy Dalton's playing well. I think he's showing that you could expect more. You should expect more out of Bryce Young, but that's still not a great team. We're going to see if the Bears can build. If the Bears build on this, the Bears can be 3-2, 5 weeks in. Man, good for them. And Matt Eberflus is not going to get fired. So I'm going Bears. Ravens, Bengals. Doesn't Lamar Jackson own the Bengals? And I'm so tired of hearing about Cincy. I got to believe it's the Ravens this week. Bills, Texans is weird. Just heard Joe Mixon was ruled out. I heard it before I had to rely on Bench the app, because Joe Mixon is one of my running backs on one of my teams. Probably Cam Akers is going to start there. I don't know about Von Miller. Taylor Rapp is out for the Bills. Bills got their butts kicked on a Sunday night. Texans without Joe Mixon are a different team. I got right here on my board, I got it marked Bills, but I think I'm going to go Texans. I think I'm changing it to the Texans at home. Colts, Jaguars, just because Doug Peterson wants to stay employed, this will be his last go in the NFL if he gets fired here. Jaguars are going to get in the win column against the Colts. I know that'll upset longtime RamView fan and friend Rich Whittington, but I'm picking against his Colts. Dolphins, Patriots, nah. Got to go Patriots in this one. I was upset because I had Dolphins Tennessee last week. I had Tennessee originally because I thought Will Levis was better than Tim Boyle, but then it turned out Tim Boyle wasn't starting. It was Tyler Huntley, and I thought, I've seen Tyler Huntley play. He's competent enough. Will Levis isn't competent. So Tyler Huntley's playing. Will Levis goes out, and then they bring in Mason Rudolph. Well, Mason Rudolph won the game. It wasn't fair. I got messed up, and so I lost that one. But the Dolphins aren't going to win this week against New England. New England's going to grind them down. Browns Taxkins, the fall of Deshaun Watson continues at the same time. The ascent of Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a quarterback I'm going to say I was absolutely wrong on. Did not like him in college at all. I didn't like C.J. Stroud in college until the playoff game against Georgia. I was wrong on those guys. Never liked Kyler Murray. Didn't drink the Kool-Aid there. There's been some other guys I didn't drink the Kool-Aid on. Ernest Biner was one of them. Not Ernest Biner, I'm sorry. Kyler Murray was one of the ones. But Browns Taxkins in the Ernest Biner Bowl. That's what's in front of me here. I do like the Taxkins in this game. I think it would be a setback for Washington to lose this game at home. Raiders Broncos, Mike Shanahan Bowl. I don't think the Raiders have enough. I doubt very much Devontae Adams is going to play. So, yeah, I like the Broncos in this one. Cardinals 49ers. I want the Cardinals to win. It'd be awesome for us to get a win, Cardinals to get a win, 49ers to lose. Everyone's 2-3. Create that log jam within the division. But Frisco's got issues. I think George Kittle is out, but I can't see them losing at home to the Cardinals, right? I can't see them. How do you feel as a Ram fan? Who do you want to win that game? I'm just thinking of what's best for the Rams. I know we've lost to the Cardinals, but we're going to get them the second time around. We're going to get them the next time. Packers-Rams, the John Hadle Bowl. Packers might want to deliver some payment again for the John Hadle ripoff that Klosterman foisted upon them. Rams could win. Rams can win. Just not feeling they're going to win right now. Tim Burns does. Giants, Seahawks, no Malik Neighbors for the Giants. Seahawks are banged up too, but I'm going with Seattle in the Walter Thurman Bowl. Another guy we covered in high school at West Covina. He was really good. If everyone is healthy, Hawks wrong. But that's the good news. They're not going to stay healthy. Their Hawks are 3-1, and Kenneth Walker always gets hurt. Tyler Lockett is growing old. There are some holes on that offensive line, so maybe by the time the Rams get to Seattle, right, maybe there's an opportunity there. Okay, we're turning over all of our hopes and dreams to the Steeler fan Rob, and the Cowboys. They're getting them in Pittsburgh, the Preston Pearson Bowl. You need this one, right? Steeler fan Rob, if the Steelers win this game and Justin Fields doesn't throw more than 2 interceptions and you get the win, I'm going off the hatred for Justin Fields. If he throws more than 2 interceptions and you get the win, then I'm still going to bag on you for Justin Fields. But everyone wants to see the Cowboys lose, and they have a chance to get blown out. Isn't that a special time? There's always that special moment in every Rams fan's life when they see the Cowboys lose 31-3 or see them lose at home to the Packers in the playoffs, right? That's just a special moment. Saints, Chiefs, the Barry Word Bowl. I'm going Chiefs. Going Chiefs right here. They're at home. If they were in the Superdome, I think a little bit different because they're cruising for a bruising with all these injuries. And I'm really getting tired of someone saying, "Oh man, Patrick Mahomes not playing well. Patrick Mahomes is not playing well." It's like he's freaking Patrick Mahomes. He's got 3 rings, 4 Super Bowl appearances. Help me. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna get it done. All right. Let's move along here. Let's look at some more questions that popped in.
It was a stone groove, my man.
It was a stone groove, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let's see here. Tommy Huxley, Green Bay is overrated. I'll love to hear your arguments and everything. I think Green Bay is vulnerable right now. I really think they are vulnerable. I think Jordan Love is special. I hope Jordan Love flashes a little more Brett Favre than Aaron Rodgers, which he's capable of, that gambling spirit. I got to believe he's not 100% running on that foot. So I think the Rams could track him down. Looks like they're going to be down Romeo Doubs along with Jalen Watson. Now they still got Jaden Reed, so there's stuff there. But there's an opportunity here for the Rams. I'm not feeling it, and I'm going to be so happy if I'm proven wrong. So please prove me wrong, and hopefully I don't lose any more listeners. Steve Ramirez, Sean Cody. Okay, we both said Sean Cody. It's pretty special. Corey Minor at Bishop Amat for me. Hey, did you see Dalen McCutcheon at Bishop Amat? That was before I got back in the game. I'm wondering if you saw Dalen McCutcheon when he was at Bishop Amat. Tim Burns. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Tommy Huxley. But I picked the Pack to beat LA. Okay. I understand. I totally get it, why people would do that. Tommy Huxley. Okay. Seahawks are overrated. I think they're vulnerable, but they're better. If everyone's healthy, that receiving core, man, if Tyler Lockett, DJ Metcalf, and Jackson Najigba stays healthy, that's Jackson Smith and Najigba and those guys, that's a great receiving core. And if Zach Charbonnet can take enough pressure off of Kenneth Walker so he doesn't get too banged up, that's a dangerous team right there. That's a dangerous team. I think their offensive line might come down to earth a little bit, but that's a dangerous team. And I completely underestimated what they would look like. But we're going to see, right? We're going to see. USA expat, Steve Bartkowski, Boucher High, Santa Clara. You saw Bartkowski play. Wow, that's pretty cool. If there's anybody that should have been a Ram quarterback, it should have been Steve Bartkowski with those golden curls and everything. That guy would probably be in the Hall of Fame now if he had played in LA instead of Atlanta all those years. Of course, they never would let him throw the ball, but he probably would have been in the Hall of Fame. There we go. Let's see. SM, Darius Williams expected to play. Isn't that cool? Darius Williams, Akila Weatherspoon. So we got some depth there. And then maybe we don't have someone better wake up. Trey White or Kobe Durant. Kobe Durant has got one more year left after this year, and then he's a free agent. Does he want to stay, right? And then Trey White is a free agent. He's only on a one-year deal. Now, he's coming back from that Achilles, and you were starting to see some flashes, but he just keeps having those killer penalties. I gotta believe Trey White in a month is going to be playing better football, but I think we're at a point now we don't have that grace to give him. There's not enough rope there to extend to him. So if Darius Williams is ready to rumble, then Darius Williams needs to be ready to rumble. Tommy Huxley, they always draft well. Packers always draft well. I don't think it's been since the 70s when they were getting, in the early 80s when they were getting Lynn Dickey killed so bad that he begged out of the lineup, that the Packers offensive line has been bad. Since the Holmgren days, they've always had great offensive linemen. They always find them, right? Always find them. Now they whiffed on Tony Mandarich, but they sure found a lot of other guys in the later rounds. They always have a great offensive line. They know what to do. And I agree. They draft super well. They draft really, really well. Let's see here. Seahawks are missing a quarterback. Who are they missing? Help me, SM. Geno Smith? Something happened to Geno Smith? Tell me if something happened. Did I miss something? Steve Ramirez. Yes, Dalen was special. Got knocked on my butt by one of his runs. That's funny. I only got knocked down once. Tommy Huxley. Geno Smith always starts out hot. Yeah. And then he sees God, right? I think that's one of my favorite things that I've ever heard in a football game is in that week 1 last year when he's back to pass, and I don't know if the Rams stunted or whatever, it just unleashed Aaron Donald to come directly at him. And you hear Geno Smith, oh my God, he got real spiritual in that moment, right? Hey, speaking of things happening, wouldn't it be marvelous if at the break, Aaron Donald just said, hey man, I'm going to do you guys a solid. I'm going to come back and knock heads with you guys. Wouldn't that be awesome if he said that? That would be pretty awesome. Okay, guys, we're coming up to the 50-minute mark. I try to keep it at 50. Hey, be sure to go to check us out on Spotify. And it's from the RamCave. We were off Spotify for about 6 months. I had some stuff going on with Spotify that was difficult, so I just had to reboot a new account. So I lost all my subscribers and everything that were there. It wasn't very big anyway at that time. But we rebooted a new account. It's called From the RamCave. We picked up a couple of listeners and just trying to expand and diversify our platform a little bit. And I am working at the right time. I will be probably doing just some podcast audio alone stuff for From the RamCave on Spotify. There won't be no visual. It'll just be audio just for people to listen to. But that'll be called FanView, and I'll be talking about other sports as well. As far as next week, if I can get on Sunday night, I'm going to get on Sunday night and talk about the Ram game, or it's going to be early Monday morning. I am on the road next week. I'm going to be up in Pismo Beach. So I'm hoping to get this show in Monday morning. And then on Wednesday, mid-morning, I'm probably going to have to broadcast from my hotel room mid-morning because I have to leave after that. And then Friday, I will be in San Luis Obispo. I got meetings all this week, 3 different meetings up the Central Coast, and actually meeting one of our sponsors from Bench the App. And so my start times will be a little chaotic. I doubt I'll be on at 5 o'clock at any time next week, but we'll be doing broadcasts. And like I said, we'll probably be trying to post some audio stuff as well. All right. Any other questions out there, guys? Happy to take them. I really appreciate you joining me on that. Be sure to check us out on From the RamCave. And I think we're good. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will see you maybe Sunday, possibly Monday, definitely Monday. Take care.